better perspective here. Okay, we're live. Let me check my I'm getting on there. I'm just trying to get set up here. I got a ways to go with this sucker. All right. Big time. All right, let's see if I can get this fired up. Something just doesn't look right to me on this. Still doesn't look right on me. What is the problem? Maybe the nose has to come down just a touch more. Maybe. Let me see. I think that might fix it. It's pouring rain out there. We got some storms hitting us right about now. I'm just trying to get this. Get this to fire up for me. Screen's really dirty. I got to clean the screen. And it takes forever to launch. Come on. Load. Sit and spin, huh? I gotta put the VPN on here. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put the VPN on here. Shouldn't have to do that, but yeah, good. Okay. Man, this thing is so slow. I need a better. Oh, what the hell? There I am. All right. Finally. Thorburn, what's happening? You. Yeah, it's a mess right now. There's a lot that had to be changed. I still not liking the way these lips are looking there. I mean, I'm really refraining them back, but I'm still feeling like I got monkey lips here or something. I don't know. It's just the shape in this area. It's driving me crazy right in this area here. Maybe the nose has to be extended just a little bit longer. I see what I did is I brought the scowl down more perfectly level here. All right. I don't know. Yeah. And it shortened the nose by bringing this down further. And that's how the screen used is, but I have to lower that scowl further. I have to get the scowl cut back more flush. Just really trying to get this thing super accurate. It's difficult, man. It's not an easy thing to do because we're so limited on how many pictures we get of this thing. Um, so what I'm going to do, because the nose needs to be a little bit longer to make this region look right, I guess. I don't know. Still trying to figure it out. Still trying to figure out what's causing this look. I widened this nose just a touch more. Yeah, monkey lips. I think that's the problem. I think this distance from here to here is too long, and it's given this elongated look. And if I shorten that, that might help. But not by a lot, just a little bit. So the first spot I'm going to hit is right here, right underneath the nose, right in the center, right there. Now I have to bring it around. A little at a time. Thunderstorming out there. To really get this, yeah, I think that's going exactly what this needed, I think. Yes, I do. I think it needed to be brought down just a little bit. Needed to be brought down just a touch. Yeah, that definitely helped it. Difficult. It's really, really difficult to nail this thing. Not an easy sculpture at all. It's such an odd shape to the face. Thorburn, yeah, the pics look good, man. I didn't give you a second chance to critique it. I boxed that sucker up when I felt like I had it on the money and sent it off to you. Now, when I took the pictures, Thorburn, I actually, the pictures were the mask was still wet, so I didn't get the red. I didn't put the in the pictures. You don't see the blood on the wound in the neck. So uh, that's why. But I put the blood in afterwards, after it dried, and then what I did was I sealed it again. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. Once you seal it, you can't paint it again. So I had to. I'm glad I didn't seal it the first time, or else we wouldn't have been able to paint that. So that would have been a nightmare. Yeah, I'm not spending a lot of time on here tonight. I did a lot of work to this already. I added more scowl up here. Um, Gonna need it. I'm gonna need this face to pump out just a little bit more because of the fact that we took away this neck quite a bit and sunk this neck way back. Um, by doing that, you're gonna need more face room here because your face is gonna. Now, what happened was this turntable here fell off and the head went tumbling down, and I got dents all in here. Where else did it get dented? It got dented on the far side, right here, real bad. So I got a lot of work to do on this to fix it. Like even the ear got nicked. Yeah, the whole damn thing fell, and then this thing actually hit this. I don't know where it hit it, but it hit it several times. Thing bounced around on the floor. I'm like, son of a bitch, because I have it up higher on top of it. This table sitting on top of another little stand, and I bumped into it. Is all it was. I bumped into the damn thing. So I got a lot of work to do. Like this got dented right here on this eyebrow, and then this eyebrow got a little dented over here, but the shape's still there, so I can see. It still looks good that way. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop that down further. Excuse me, I get the hiccups again. Yeah. I don't know. Very difficult to do this sculpture, I can say that. I haven't been able to figure out exactly why this looks so weird. Still working on it. Thorburn, yeah, the screen used FB is sort of weird looking in certain shots. It doesn't really look like the 78 mask. Oh no, it definitely doesn't look like the 78 mask. It's not the 78 mask. It never was and never will be. And I've always known that. That's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to sculpt, because we're so used to doing the 78. Everybody knows that mask really well. And I think it really challenges the artist to try and, okay, let's make a Michael Myers mask that doesn't look like the 78, but it has all the features that the 78 gives you that makes it creepy. And what I mean by that is the heavy scowl, the the cut in eye cuts in here, they have to be deeper. Um, the attitude has to be right, but kind of non-expressive. So it's, wow, that's the hardest part, is like, giving it an attitude and then still coming away with a non-expression. That's, man, such a fine line. Oh yeah. Well, the whole thing with this mask is it changes the way it looks in different lighting, and that's why it's painted the way it is. The painting is set up. Christopher Nelson actually says it in his interview that his paint scheme, he he painted that mask to be effective in lighting. That's how he said it anyway. It's more about the lighting than it is the actual color and all the stuff that's in the mask. And that's how I painted my mask. It's more about the what it's going to look like in different lighting. That's what you have to. Too much. Yeah, I mean, well, what it is the features. Uh, the thing about the '78 mask is it was actually a Captain Kirk that was altered. Working the clay while it's soft. I keep clay in my hands to keep it soft. I don't plan on being on long tonight because I have to. I still got to cook dinner. I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten yet. I haven't really gotten a lot done today. For a lot of reasons, not just. I'm working on the internet. Oh, guys, you have to check out. Is Asylum on yet? I'm hoping Asylum jumps on. He got his mask. He did a review. And if you go check out my website, it's really awesome. I mean, I uploaded the whole review on the website. But you can also check him out on the Asylum and Beyond on YouTube. Yeah, it doesn't look right. That don't look right. The only way I can do that is by lifting the mask up to see what's missing. I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm going deeper here. Just got to keep honing in on these lips until I get it right. Because there's just something about them that's just not sitting well with me. And now I've lowered the nose further down. A lot of work to do here. But I don't plan on releasing this right away. I'm going to take my time with this and really try to get it perfect. Yeah, he did a great job with his review on this mask. Well, not this mask, but the flashback for me. I love it. I love it. I just wish they wouldn't mention nag. The other thing I need you guys to stop doing when you do a review, don't show the address on the box. Don't show the addresses on the box, even your own. Never show that address. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. What did I just want to do? I don't know. See, now the base isn't on here, on the around the neck area, because I'm going to build this neck up. I want the neck a little longer, just a touch longer, not a lot longer. Yeah, these nose holes are way off, but that's okay. We're nowhere ready for, perfecting it yet. Nowhere ready yet. Not even close. Does that look right? What is eating me? What is eating at me? I'm looking at the profile. You guys can't see. I'm off camera, but I'm looking at the profile. Something is still bothering me with this. Is this I'll figure it out. It's going to take a little time, but I'll figure it out. And I definitely don't want to release this thing unless I get it nailed, or at least so close that it's hard to tell. I think that's what it is. I think the lip is sticking out a little bit too far still. Just in the front of it. Just the front. Get out of there. Using too big of a tool there. Got to get those lips peaks further apart. Like that. And we got to round them. See, these are shaped like, you know, they got a little bit of a bow to them on both sides. Speaking of Bo, has anybody seen Bo Norton? I haven't seen him in a long time. Almost a perfect segue. But I've been working on this for probably about 3 hours before I even came on YouTube tonight. And I need that more narrow right up here. And that on the other side. Sometimes my fingers work better than the tools because you're putting the clay where it needs to be, as long as it's warm. If the clay's hard, you know, if it's cool, you know, cold, and taking out the rough. I was going to melt this down and say to hell with it. But you know me, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm going to keep working until I get it where I want it to be. A lot of smoothing out to do, but I'm getting there. What is bothering me about this side? This side looks like it's getting there. Yeah, that looks a lot better, profile-wise. But this side feels like it needs to come out further. Just a touch. Where though? right in here. Just a little bit at a time. Always a little bit at a time, because you don't want to. Let me see. Hold on. Look at this thing, John. Look at it. What do you see? I think I've gone too deep in here. That's what I think it is. I think that's what's throwing it off. Yeah, trial and error ain't the way. That's not the half of it. How many people are on? There's 5 watching. Okay, there's just nobody talking though besides you, Joe. Thorburn. Come on, what am I missing? This side looks right. This side looks too deep in here. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's too deep right in here. You see how this is rounded out and this coming out. Wait a minute. This is a little bit kind of bumped out a little bit here. That's what that means. It's not in this region. It's back here. It's sitting back too far. So yeah, it was too deep right in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's starting to come out now. I can see it now. Okay. Figure out what the hell is eating at me on the side. It's definitely that. Yeah, that's definitely looking a lot better. The lips aren't perfect yet. The lips are not perfect yet. You got to get the head shape right. You got to get everything right. Every angle has to be right. Because if the angles are off, the whole thing doesn't look right. You know, I think what I have to do is I got to bring the cheek lines out further. That might have to be the okay, you got to put your earbuds in. I might have to add more cheek. Bring this out a little further, maybe. That might fix the problem with the monkey lips. I call them monkey lips. Who's on here? Mike's Horror Corner. All right, man. How you doing, Mike? I really love the last one you did. What were the things that bugged you? Ha! Well, I'm a perfectionist, and I don't know. There was just a couple things that kind of ate at me. It looked good, but I don't know. There was just there was a couple things, not a lot, but enough to make me go, okay, let's just do this again. But I'm going to take my time with this. This isn't getting rushed for this year. This is really going to be. This is going to be a version 3. I can't, overemphasize that you can't I'm starting to like that. No, I have to smooth all this out. There's so much that has to be done before you can. There's a lot. Okay, so now here I dug in pretty far and I took away a little bit of this cheek here. And I think that's partially the reason why it doesn't look quite right. I'm still adding and taking away and adding and taking away on this sculpture. But I'm really trying to get this lip area really nice. And this looks a lot better. The biggest thing is you want to make sure your cheeks are identically in the same depth. In other words, depth into the face. And everything has to, when you're looking down onto it, everything has to be even. Like this lip line, it goes back because this peak is higher on this side. So what happens is, if you don't sink this corner in far enough, the distance between the two looking down looks like this one here is too far forward, and then this one sinks back too far. And the whole thing is getting it perspective so it looks even on both look even distance from the center, all right? And the depth has to be right. And the peaks are just, this one's a little higher, so therefore you're going to get a little more clay on the tip of this peak. So it's, it's a constant battle to try and get it, to make them look right. Setting this depth is important because this corner of this mouth sinks down a little more than this side, and you have to account for that, but also you have to not only sink it down, but you got to bring it in. This area of the face, from this point in, it's round. It's round right in here. If you're looking down on it, it's very round. But from this point back, it sinks in. Hard to explain, but that's why you're sculpting in three-dimensional world. You're not dealing with. There's so many angles that you have to really make sure to look good. If you see this from a different angle, it has to look right. It has to look human. But we will get it nailed. I think I'm going to add a little more to this. Yeah, that's a big part of the issue. That's what's giving it the monkey lips look. Not having the cheeks out far enough. It's making these lips look way too far out. Okay, we got you now, sucker. We know what the problem is now. But you got to tackle it a little at a time here. You call your ex monkey lips? That's messed up, man. That's messed up. Your ex. I had an ex. My ex died a couple of years ago. Freak accident. Feel bad because never wish anything harm. I don't wish harm on anybody. But she had a freak accident and she's no longer with us. It wasn't a real bad breakup, but it was, I just think we were too young. I was too young. I was very immature when I was young. I was into sports and I was constantly on the go, always, 22, 23 years old, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I think I was 22. And I wasn't ready for marriage. I don't think neither one of us were. Got it right the second time. Been with her for over 30 years. First one only lasted 4 years. See what that does. Yeah, that's definitely making the difference right there. Yep. Yeah, see how much better that's starting to look? I mean, if I tilt this thing right Yeah, see how that's starting to make that look right? Yeah. I think the cheeks were not far enough out. See, pushing out the scowl changes the whole depth of the face. That's a fact. You know, as soon as you make a little adjustment here or there, man, you gotta adjust almost everything. Now I just gotta bring it all together. Yeah, that's what I say. The changes are so subtle. You can't, you just don't know. That's why it's so difficult. It's like the slightest little change here or there, and all of a sudden now you've got yourself a different sculpture. It's a totally different game, and you got to have the eye to see what's wrong. That's the hard part. That is the hardest part, is figuring out what's wrong. Um, once I saw the cheek line, I don't know. I can't tell you how I saw it, but I saw it. That's all I can tell you. I saw where the problem was, and eventually, I mean, sometimes I'll sit there for 2 days and not figure out what the problem is, and then all of a sudden see it and go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I overlooked that." You know, that's the truth. But that's I'm not an expert at sculpting at all. I'm not. So, I'm definitely not an expert on the human anatomy. So you just got to keep working it until you get it right. Now this here, this depth is bothering me just a touch too. Let me see something. No, I'm not messing with that, because I think it's all in the cheeks. I'm just trying to put enough clay on. Right now, I'm shaping it a little bit, but I'm not really honing in on. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You got to keep working it until you get it right. Now, because this cheek line's out a little bit, I think I can hone this down just a little bit more. And it looks right. Something in the clay right here. There it is. Got it. Yeah, now we're getting there. Now we're getting there. Taking some of that away. Add a little on this side. Right now, I'm just trying to work the basics, trying to get the basic shapes where it needs to be, and then I can start really honing in and really smoothing it out and everything. Because if you try to get everything done at one, you can never work in one spot on a sculpture. If you do, you're really gonna you're not going to come up with something accurate at all. At least I can't work that way anyway. I can't work on one spot and then move to another spot after I think that spot. In other words, work the spot until it's perfect, and then go over here and go, oh my God, wait a minute, something's not right. Something's way off. You gotta move around. You gotta move around. You gotta move around the sculpture. You know, so it's just the way it is. Okay, what am I seeing over here? It's not, okay, I see what it is. It's too deep. It's not, all right, I got you figured. It's making it look like it's making it look like it's going around like this. We don't want that. That's not what we're after. And straight down. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. We're losing the monkey lips. But what time is it now? Let me take a look at my. Oh, I can't. What time is it, guys? Eastern Daylight Time. I gotta jump off here because I still gotta cook dinner. Yeah, that was definitely what the problem was. That's for sure. The cheek lines weren't pronounced enough. They weren't pronounced enough. The cheek lines, they were not pronounced enough. Nice. Sometimes when the clay's a little too soft, that's not a good thing either. Yeah, that's definitely cutting it, man. That's definitely giving me the look that I'm after. Now it still has to be blended in and smoothed in, but yeah, that's what's been eating at me. Something wasn't right, and I couldn't figure it out. You also got to be careful of not making the face look too flat. And that means that this has to be tucked in further back here. I'll show you what I mean. And I can start shaping this a little bit now. Now, see, I'm bringing this down, all right, but you see how deep this crevice is now? That means I got to bring in some, I got to put some clay in here somewhat. But the cheek line's coming in nicely. Yeah. Not too much. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to change the depth of that. That'd be like just trying to. See what I did there? Filled that so it's not so deep right in there, but it looks more natural. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, that's running great now. I mean, that pool pump was about six, I'm gonna say 6, 7 years old, and I used to, when I run my pump, I run it really hard all season. I do. I don't. I've been taking care of pools ever since I was a little kid. I'm telling you, I was a fish in water. That's what I did. I did a lot of swimming, a lot of, used to take care of pools ever since I was about 8 years old. 8 years old, no kidding. Uh, Before they had all these stupid laws in place where nobody could do anything. You know, kids couldn't do anything until they were 14, 15 years old. Now, operating machinery and stuff, you can't do that. But taking care of a pool, that was easy. What I had to do is backwash the sand pump. Now, back in those days, that's all I had was sand pumps, and then, most of the pools I did were for the big hotels. And some jobs I did just to go swimming in their pool. Some jobs I did and got paid. But I was a hustler, man. I hustled when I was a kid. I really did. I was a hustler. I knew how to make a buck. My dad used to laugh because he didn't laugh until I came home. When I started coming home with all that money, he was like, "What are you doing?" He thought I was stealing. But and now I wouldn't say that because I shouldn't say that. I don't think he thought I was stealing because I wasn't that kind of kid. That's for sure. I never stole anything. I never really got into that kind of bullshit. Well, I steal when I could. I knew how to hustle for money. I knew how to hustle it, man. I knew how to work. I knew how to work, man. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think we're getting somewhere now. Let me tilt this head to see what it looks like if it's straight up and down. Oh hell yeah. That's what was wrong. Damn cheeks were too far back. Still got to have that taper this way. You can't have the cheeks sticking straight out all the way to the end. They got to come back. But that's why I'm bulking up right in here more. Bulking this up and then cutting this back. And that's what I'm going to do over here too. Bulking up in here and cutting it back. It is a bitch, man, trying to get the sculpture right. So the storm blew over. Oh yeah. I'm digging it now. Now the true test is when I stand up and I start looking down on the face. Then I'll know whether or not I'm doing the right job. I'm too lazy to get up. I have a really good idea that I'm doing the right thing. What was that? Yeah, I'm surprised nobody else is joining me here. Nobody else is on. I'm going to make the eye cuts just a touch smaller too, and I'm also going to bring in the eye cuts a little bit. I want the face a little bit more narrow in this area, in the eyes, because that's what it shows me on the sculpture, on the strain used mask. I think the eyes are a little closer together this way. In other words, they're a little bit. I could probably put a mark where I think they got to come into. See, I put those little marks. That's about where these outside eye cuts have to come into. I'll shrink the eye cuts just a little bit more. Pain in the arse, that's for sure. But in the end, it'll be worth it. I'm not trying to change the shape of the eye cut. Just trying to bring it in. I have the angles right. Mm-hmm. And that'll make it look so much more accurate. I gotta do it from another angle. Concentrating, that's why I'm not talking. Yeah, oh man, that looks a lot better. A little bit too much of a sharp cutoff right here. Just trying to get it perfect. Pipe master in the house? Where's he at? Pipe master's up or burn? Yes, I have done a lot to this pipe master. I had to raise these cheeks out further. That's why these monkey lips were looking like this. Took me a while to figure out what the problem was, but the cheek lines, I'm not losing the taper. That was the problem before. The taper wasn't going back far enough. What I am doing is adding the cheek height right in here, and that took away a lot of these monkey lips. Um, and I'm still adding a little bit more to it, and I just have to see how this, I gotta make sure that this stays right. The scowl is now down and flat right here. Let's see if I can, you can see that profile. No, gotta, this thing took a tumble and I'm trying to get that camera to be angled just right. It's, you know what, the camera's up a little too high. You know what, let me change the depth of that camera height. Let me try to lower it so it's not looking down on top of the sculpture. Let's see what we can do here. That's a little better. I extended the nose just a touch too, because when I and it helped out this region right in here because it looked too long right in here. I extended the nose a little bit. I made the nose a little more pudgy right in here. I mean, I got a lot of work to do to the nose, so ignore what this looks like right now. I have to like literally tilt this thing up to see what I'm doing underneath it there. But I started working underneath the lips. The lips are starting to look really good. That looks like the screen used right now. Still a little bit of bulge that has to be put right here. But yeah, there's a lot of problems. This thing, when it took a tumble, man, this whole thing fell, and then it bounced around, and this thing hit it a couple times too. So I was like, shit, man, I got all kinds of damage to it. But I knew I was gonna change a lot on this because I want this thing to look really good. I want this thing to be accurate, and I think I'm really getting closer now. I'm really honing in on it. Yeah, even those eye cuts now, bringing the outer eye cuts in just a little bit doesn't make the face look real wide. It's just the eye cuts. I'm not changing anything on the head shape. I needed to bring the outside of the eye cuts in further, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm doing it without changing the eye cut shapes because the cuts are already in, the slants are in. I just have to bring them in. And that's all I'm doing. It's just bringing the cut in. That looks so much better, I think. Might even make the eye cuts a little smaller, just a touch smaller. Very, very small adjustment on that, but not very much. Not a large adjustment. Yeah, see, the problem is getting the proper lighting on this when you're trying to sculpt. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. Yep. That is helping the sculpture a lot. Bringing those eye cuts in just a touch more. Bringing these eye cuts in just a touch more, man. Hard dude, what's happening, buddy? Pipe Master's in the house. Yeah, this sculpture is going to be badass. But I got a lot of work to do, and I'm going to take my time with it. I don't want to rush this. This isn't going to be for this Halloween. When it's done, it's done. I'm not going to say when. I'm not going to say it may be right after Halloween. I don't care. I want it to be right. I don't care when it gets done. I'm more worried about getting something out there so perfect, so accurate. This ain't about if or when. This ain't about when, because once you nail this thing and you really get a good mask that looks amazing, perfect, almost screen accurate. I want to say almost. Let's just say Yeah, almost perfect. If you can get this thing almost perfect, this is going to sell year round. This isn't going to sell just at Halloween time. But the economy is really bad right now, and I do see a lot of mask makers. And I've seen Nag Mask has been relaunched several times. There was one on eBay for like $1,000, and it's been launched several times. And the price, I think I had, because I looked at it, you know, um, they tried to get me to buy it for like 950 or something like that. I'm like, no, I'm not looking to buy. Was just checking out the mask because it looks so good. James Carter painted it, but what it's telling me is even like the best mask out there right now is not selling. So that's scary to me. It just, you know, the reason why I show what I do and sculpting this thing and seeing how difficult it is to actually do this sculpture and do this mask and make this mask is maybe the people have a little bit more appreciation on how much work that goes into it, and they won't flinch on the price so much. Some people are like, you know what, if it's only, I ain't buying nothing for more than $60. Well, don't buy from an artist, an independent artist, because that's not what you're paying for. This isn't a mass-produced mask. You're buying this from an independent artist. And has everybody seen Asylum's, Jim, I know I sent you, Pipe Master, I know I sent you the link to his review. It really was good. I loved his review. Pipe Master. Asylum. I'm surprised he's not on tonight. Yeah, it usually takes me a few times to figure out what's wrong with a sculpture, but once I figure it out, I get closer and closer and closer. This time around, I really don't want to let go of this thing until it's, and I'm going to keep selling. Like the other one, I wasn't going to keep selling because I just really didn't like it. I didn't like the way it turned out. So this one, the one version 2 is going to be, I'm going to keep selling that for the year. And I got some more projects coming up that you guys are going to be blown away with when I do this. You're really going to enjoy this. You're going to enjoy this journey. I'm not going to just stay with Michael Myers all winter. I got some other projects I want to do, and they're not even a mask. It's not even a mask. I'm not going to tell you until I start doing it because I don't want anybody copying my thunder. Stealing my thunder, so to speak. But I think I told you, Pipe Master, what I was doing. Don't mention it. But I'm going to start this process with this. See, the one thing, I watched this guy named Alan Hops at Stilt B Studios. The one thing that this guy has taught me, after 10, 15 years of watching this guy, is think outside the box. Always thinking outside the box. Never stay with just, always thinking outside the box. Master not the only thing you have to make. And this thing's going to, it's horror. It's still horror. And you're going to love it. And it's going to be awesome. That's all I can tell you. It's going to be awesome. Now I have to put clay right up in here. I have to bring this up. There's a little bump there because I bumped out the scowl and the forehead a little bit here to make it so it's more accurate, because the slope was going back too far. I cut too much off that head before. So I also corrected the hairline, as you can see. But I have to fix that little bump, that ridge there. So what I need to do is look at it. It happens to fall right where the hairline is, but that's okay. I can fix that as I go. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at a perfect profile. I'll have to redo that hairline a little bit, but that's okay. Pipe Master, any of you guys suggest that the hairline needs to come back a little bit, or any of that? This is the time to talk. But I think the hairline was right. From here to here, I have to change. I have to get that dip out of there because I added more forehead. We just got hit by a thunderstorm a little while ago. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Still a little bit, still needs a little more. Still see a little area where it still needs it. This thing out of the way. Yeah, that's good. That looks good. Yeah, he probably is, knowing Asylum. He actually can't wear that mask. If you watch the video, man, that mask is huge on his head's so small. He literally does need a 22-inch, 23-inch mask. Maybe I'll hook him up because I do have a mold that will give me a 23 and a half inch mask. I think I might do it for him. I love this video so much. I'm going to call him. I'm going to as soon as I catch him on here, I'm going to tell him I'm going to send him a small mask. I'm going to make it. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to send him another mask. One's for display and one will be for wearing. And I'll make that mask thin casted so it'll be nice and light on him. I love this video so much. He earned it. He earned it. He earned that mask. I really loved his box opening. And at first I thought he wasn't doing anything, but he did say to me, I think it was on the stream. He was like, I really like to take the extra time and edit my videos, and it shows because he really did a great review. Looked good. Yeah, he's a small guy, and so I'm going to hook him up with I'm definitely going to hook him up. His nose does it way off, man. His nose is a mess. Yeah, the hairline's good. I just had to take that dip out of there. It was like, because I bulged this out and I never added. I had to bring it back into the hip forehead. So there's all kinds of little things mean a lot. So right now, I want to bring the eyebrows out just a little bit more, but I want to make sure I don't lose the original shape of that eyebrow. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm really putting Just bulking it up a little bit. And this here has to be fixed too, because when I was shaving this down, which I'm not sure I like the way it looks yet. Hold on. Does that look even across? Okay, let's see what the problem is. Now, of course, you guys know that a lot of this eyebrow gets taken away as I sculpt into it. But I'm going to make sure I maintain the shape of it. So hard to get these eyebrows right. And now, because I cut in the eye cut a little bit too much, no, not too much, but more, I have to shorten this eyebrow just a touch. So what I do, instead of back to perfect. Yes, baby. Now the other side. This side's a pain in the ass because this got dented really bad. The other one didn't. Now that side. No, that side's okay. I don't have to. Oh. Asylum's walking around in the yard scaring people with his mask on. Yeah, I want him to have a mask that he can wear. I didn't realize his head was as small as it was, but it's really small. When I saw the video and I saw how big my mask was in his hands, he deserves a mask that he can wear. So we're going to shrink it. We're going to give him a copy of that mask in a much smaller size. Yeah, man. Yeah, need a little less. Keep dropping clay on the floor. At least I have that floor thing there. Now, right now, I don't have the eyebrows perfectly shaped because I can't see that picture close enough to get it right. Perfect, but I'll get them, I'll hone in on them. This one here I'm so familiar with, I pretty much know how that works. All right, so we got a whippoorwill out there making a lot of racket. There's a lake behind my house, and we get a lot of wildlife because of it. So what do you guys think so far? Asylum, where's he at? Van Duma's mask 23 and a half inch. Yes, I gave him a 23 and a half inch, but he took it as a blank. And, you know, and pretty much the reason why he got that is because I made that logo and I glued it on the inside of that 23 and a half. Hey, there's Asylum. Yo, bro. I'm going to tell you something right now, buddy. I'm going to send you a 23 and a half inch that I sent, the same one to Asylum, to Banduma. And the reason why I'm going to give you that is because when I saw that your head size was so much smaller than that mask, I'm like, you know what? You deserve, after that video, my friend, after that video, you deserve a mask that fits you that you can wear. So I'm going to make you a 23 and a half inch mask, and you're going to love it because I'm going to paint that thing up to make it look gorgeous, and I'm going to send it off to you again. So I got to tell you, well, the only thing, like I said, Asylum, I loved the video so much, I'm going to send you another mask that's going to be a 23 and a half inch mask that you'll be able to wear and go out and enjoy yourself with the costume. I'll make it a thinner casted mask. This way it's comfortable to wear. It'll be thin casted. And Banduma got one. He only got the only existing 23 and a half inch mask because I made him a logo. As a matter of fact, I have it sitting here. I made this logo for his mask. I made this logo, and once I did this, I realized, you know what? I better not do this to the masks, because what happens if I put this Banduma edition in there? I can do an Asylum edition, same thing. Make this, because all I do is I fill this with latex and I kind of smear it perfectly level, and then what I do, oh wait a minute, you can't see it, hold on, this is the Banduma logo. It's backwards because of the way the all right, so you just fill this with latex, and then I can lay it inside the mask. And since you guys are the only two that have a 23 and a half inch mask, I'll make a Asylum edition, and I'll make you the same thing, only in Asylum, and then we'll put it on the inside of the mask. I don't like selling the 23 and a half inch mask because it's just not, I don't know, man, it's too small for most people. 24 and a half is usually as small as I'd like to go with a mask. So the goal here is to, I'm gonna pour up a 23 and a half inch mask for you probably tomorrow, and then I'll paint it and hair it and do all that fun stuff to it. And then I'm gonna have you do another. I love your video, man. I really loved it. Now, I went ahead because I couldn't get a hold of you. Asylum, are you on Facebook? Asylum, if you're on Facebook, man, I want to share our contact information, our phone numbers, so we can talk directly on the phone. And, you know, because I wanted to reach out to you to get permission from you to use your video on the website. Plus, if you go to, right now, I want you to go take a peek at this. You go to my, go to the flashback, my flashback mask that's being sold on eBay. It's on there right now, and I put your video. I had to re-edit it because they only give you 1 minute, so it's 58 seconds long. I took the most important parts of that video, edited it down to where, you know, what I thought was important. Now, the one thing I didn't get to do on that video was put your logo of who you were. And I'm like, shit, how do I do this? I got to figure out a way to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a still shot of that review that you did of your logo on that video and put it in with the pictures because I couldn't fit it. I couldn't fit it no matter how hard I tried. So go take a peek at that real quick. Go look at my Custom Corpses flashback mask that's for sale right now, and your video is on that. Is on there. I took my video off of there. I loved it so much that I used your video. Your review was awesome. I just like the way you did it. Really nice. Like the way you did it. And it deserves a mask. Because I can use it for promotion. And I encourage you to do it again when you get the 23-inch. Now this one you'll be able to wear and enjoy it over the Halloween season. Because I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to start working on it right away. This mask is not going to be ready for a couple months. Probably beyond. Yeah, I loved it. It was done nicely, very nicely. Everybody was impressed. And yes, you're right. The hair is a secret. I don't like to tell anybody what hair I use. It is that important to keep that to oneself. Yeah, man. Now take a look at that, guys. Dead on. I brought the eye cuts in further on the tops to give it a more accurate look and make the face a little bit, the eye cuts a little bit more narrow. Not changing the width of the head. Bringing the eye cuts in. Now I'm not changing the distance between here and at all. I'm just bringing the outside in a little bit more. Let me try and get the camera right on it, straight on. A little further. Jesus, come on. Now we're a ways from finishing this bad boy. Might have a little of that in there. Custom Corpses. I love the flashback mask. You've made. I love it so much I can't stop staring at it. I'm interested in the Night Creeper mask you made, if you have one available. I have to retool that. I'm not happy with that mask because of the eye cuts. The eye cuts are not slanted back right. They're too rounded. And the one eye cut's really messed up because the depth was wrong. So I have to retool that. I don't want to. I'm going to retool it. The only thing I'm going to do to that is actually fix the eye cuts. So it won't take too long, but it's a matter of getting one made out of clay, retooling it, and then selling it. Yes. Because we're going to sell that. We're going to sell that. I just have to get to it. I really want to get this flashback nailed. I just want it really done. I want it done right. I want it as close as possible. Close as I can make it anyway. And every time I do this thing, I keep finding new things and going, oh, okay, I need to fix that. Oh, I need to fix this. And here's what the problem is. All right. From sculpture to mask, there's a lot of changes that take place just because of latex shrinkage. So you may not have the exact thing of what you see in sculpture. It's just a little bit different, and it's because the latex shrinks so much. This mat, like if I did this in latex right now, in other words, if this was a mold, and I poured the latex in there, it would come out and shrink up about 1.5 inches in full diameter, 1.5 inches to 2 inches, depending on how much latex I use, how thick it is. But my point is, in the shrinkage process, shapes change a little bit. I noticed that, and you have to be heavier with detail, because if you don't have the detail heavy, it really affects the. Because I know my first one I didn't do the detail heavy enough, and it just looked so washed out by the time I shrunk the mask down 2 sizes. And it's usually when you get down to that second size. Yeah, this. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I can show it to you real quick. I'm gonna nail this damn flashback, whatever it, how hard it is. But I'm gonna get that thing done and looking good. I'm looking down on the mask, the sculpture right now, to make sure my depth's right. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, baby. That's what's been eating at me. That's exactly what the problem has been for a while. It's that damn. Yeah, this sculpture fell and really got banged up right here. I got a lot of cleaning to do on this. There's a lot of shit that I got to do to this thing to fix it. But let me show you the Night Creeper. I have, and I'm going to turn the camera so you can just see it on the hook. Okay, and then I'm going to explain to you what I see, what's wrong with it. Okay, that's the Night Creeper. Trying to get the camera to stay straight on me. Okay, so the Night Creeper. Here, you see how much bigger this eye cut is here? Well, the illusion is, and the reason why is because it's not cut back, the slant's not far enough back. Same with this side, I got to get the slants further back. In other words, the profile looks very round and out, it's sticking out too far. This has to be cut back, just like your flashback mask. The angle has to be right. And that's what I have to do to it. But this mask looks really good. I think I'm going to, I mean, not this mask, but the Night Creeper in general, the shape of it and everything. It's going to be really, it's going to be awesome when I get this done. Because I have this in silicone. All I have to do is pour up a clay head, make the alterations the way I want it, and bring it back out as a sculpt, make a mask out of it. And this actually has the neck things here. There's a little bit of changing that I'm going to do right underneath the chin. I want to make the chin a little bit more round. There's just little things that I'm going to do to this thing to make this look really badass. I'm going to tilt it down a little bit so it's looking right at the camera. All right, now we'll. Starting to rain again. Yeah, that right eye cut, looking on the right side, look how much bigger that looks. And it's not because it's bigger, it's just because of the angle. The pitch doesn't go back far enough. Both sides, they both have to be worked on, both eye cuts. And I don't want to sell a mask like that. I don't want it going out there. I'm just too much of a perfectionist. I'm anal. I'd rather have, I don't care if it takes me another year to get something right. I want it right. More important to me to have something that's so nice, and people really, because you put a lot of time into these sculptures, and if you don't really take pride in it, what are you going to end up with? Something nobody wants? You know what I mean? You know, I don't want to do this and then have my and here's that hair that you guys are wondering about. Asylum, that's the hair. That's the hair without product in it. Can I tell you what it is? Nope. Nope. But it's a natural hair, I can tell you that. It's all natural. Oh man, here comes the thunder. Here comes the thunder. Thorburn, yes, it's got more brown in it. There's more brown in that flashback. Thorburn, man, it's pouring out there again. Rapunzel. Yep. Let that hair out. Yeah, this thing's going to be nice. This one here, I'm really getting it. Wow. I got that. That totally did it. That totally did it. That took out that, pumping out those cheek lines where they need to be now. Definitely got rid of that monkey lip look that I was getting from this. Now I just have to make the nose. I gotta blend everything in now. Get everything right. But boy, this sculpture, this is liable to be ready before Halloween too. The part 3. I hate like hell to do that, but now this will be V3. V3. 3 strikes and I'm out. I mean, now this will be V3. So, got a lot of work to do to it though yet. It's still a ways off. A lot of smoothing. I'm not quite perfectly happy with the lips yet. But I have a lot more understanding of the sculpture. Now I have the more I do this, the more accurate I'm going to get, because I'm really starting to hone in on what it takes to make this thing accurate. I hope so. I'm hoping that I can pull off the perfect mask, because I want to get to the point where I don't have to do this again. That's what I'm saying. I really want it to be so perfect that I don't have to do this. You know, I'm not going to completely do a mask to move a crumb of clay. You know, that would be stupid. But when there's some things that can be better, and it's usually because it's the process of the shrinkage of the latex that alters the end product. And when you know that that's going to happen to your existing sculpture, because you got to remember, I have a silicone master of this sculpture. All I have to do is pour up another head, and I have the exact same thing that you guys got, the version 2. It's the V2 in clay. And all I have to do is make little alterations to it to bring it back to, full, to the full thing, so. But it's nice having that master silicone, because this is a hollow head. This is hollow, and I don't have to. It's not on an armature. I don't have to put it on an armature. And what else it does for me is it allows me to make a hard stone master. All right, and then I can literally. I can make this a one-piece mold. I don't have to worry about two-piece molds where they leak You know, latex comes out of it sometimes. No matter how hard you, no matter what you do to seal it, they do leak. You know, so I've had latex wasted so much because it leaked out of the, you know, the mold when you're dwell casting. Dwell casting is mean you take the two parts together, flip it upside down, and then fill that hole completely up to the top with latex. All right, takes like 4 gallons of latex to fill the hole, and then what you do is you let it dwell inside that hole for about 2 hours to give you a nice thick mask, but not too thick. All right. This process, it's a one-piece stone mold. There's no seams, and all I have to do is just take the heat gun and melt the clay from the inside of the mask. Melt it a little bit, not melt it to where it's liquid, but heat it up to where it's warm, and then just peel it right out of the head. And I came up with that technique on my own. But the reason why I think the way I do, and creating these like new processes, is I've been watching this guy named Alan Hops for about 12 years, maybe even longer. And this guy always thinks outside the box. And you know, you watch enough of those videos and you really catch on to, wow, okay, yeah, you know what, if I did this, you start doing the same kind of thing where you're just very creative. It makes you very creative. So I always say, never watch just one person. Always watch a lot, especially if you're really interested in learning how to make stuff like this. You want to watch it from many people, not just one person. Like I would have never tackled this thing if I had just watched one person. What did Thor say? Hold on. Asylum V3, yeah, big dummy. Oh, that's messed up. That's funny. You big dummy. God. Oh man, that's funny. How to edit? You know what? I think you need to reach out to Asylum to teach you how to edit. Maybe he can do a couple edit. Maybe he can do a. No, you want to do a private edit because you don't want your techniques to go out. You know, because people spend a lot of time learning how to do that, and you can't give away all your secrets. You can't do that, but you can. He can help you a lot. I'm pretty sure. You guys need to do private messaging. Thank you, Asylum. I needed your permission. I couldn't reach out to you, so I wanted to use your video. And the other thing is, I have to do a still shot so people can see who you are, Asylum, with an explanation. I'm gonna have to put that on. Well, right now that sale is going to be done by Sunday. Ah, Thorburn. Well, then you guys should talk because I think he could help you out with doing the editing and stuff. You can spend a lot of time editing. Now, I just did iMovie, Asylum. When I did that edit for your video, I just used iMovie because I know how to use it. I suck at editing. I suck at content creating. You know, that's why I'm doing live, because I'm just freestyling it right here. You know, I don't do professionally edited videos or I just think that you want to make workout videos, Thorburn? Well, I mean, hell yeah, teach people how to get in shape. I know how to get in shape, but I'm 63 years old and I don't find the need for it anymore, other than surviving. Am I worried about my waistline? The only thing I'm right now is I'm going to get the gastro bypass to lose the rest of the weight, so I can get my hip replacements. I'm an ex-athlete. I played semi-pro football. I was a swimmer, a high diver, a scuba diver. Uh, I used to run between 6 and 10 miles every other day until I hit about the age of 35. That's when I developed the arrhythmia with my heart, and had to live with that for a long time. It wouldn't go away, and I couldn't exercise. It was completely debilitating. And for somebody that was an athlete, it's torture. And I just, it was absolutely horrible. And they finally fixed it. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you guys, yesterday I had to go all the way up to Voorhees in New Jersey. And it's right outside of Philadelphia, which to me, that's an hour and a half drive from here. You know, it's not real far, but it's, you know, it's a trip. So I go up there, and they did a pulmonary check on me, and they couldn't get to my target. They couldn't get me to, you know, target. So the guy's like, "Were you an athlete?" I said, "Yeah, well, a long time ago." He says, "You got lungs of a 20-year-old. You really have great lungs. Your capacity's amazing. Your oxygen levels are high." And I was worried that because of all the ablation and the heart problems that I had all through these years, that I thought I was gonna black out and get winded. But I don't know if you guys ever had that test where they actually they have you going into the tube. Let me put myself on camera for a few minutes. All right. Can you see me okay? So what they do is they put you inside this booth, and then they put this thing in your mouth, and you gotta blow. You know, there's several different tests that have to take place. And the one that really kind of gets people, freaks them out. Now, to me, the reason why it didn't freak me out is because it reminded me of the test I had to do with a German regulator when I was scuba diving. But anyway, what this thing does is the tube goes in your mouth, and there's a check valve inside the tube, and they tell you to take a deep breath, and you got to, you know, the one test is you got to frantically pant, all right? But when you're panting, the tube cuts off, and it literally keeps you going. It makes you going, but you got to suck in and out while this thing's cutting off your airwaves, and you got to do it for several minutes. And it not several minutes, probably like a minute and a half. You're doing this. Well, I came off of that thing, and I wasn't even winded. And the girl, that's when she asked me, she says, "Were you an athlete?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "Well, your lungs are still like a 20-year-old's. You know, you got full capacity. You really, you know." And then they do this other test. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around because I'm trying to think of all the tests they did, where you have to take a real deep breath in. Then you got to blow it all out, and I mean, hey, she's keep blowing. You're literally ready for that next breath of air. So I do this, and I'm going, holy shit, you know, I'm like, I'm going to be winded when I suck in the air. I wasn't winded. I was like, wait a minute, this is weird. I really thought I was going to be winded tremendous, really bad because of the heart stuff that I dealt with. And so they fixed my heart really good, and it showed in that test yesterday. So I didn't get home till 6:30 last night. I didn't do anything. I couldn't get nothing done. Thorburn, I was actually talking to Thorburn about it. I don't think I actually mentioned the test and how I had to go through the testing, but all these tests I have to do prior to the surgery, there's a shitload of tests that have to be done. Cardio, all kinds of tests, because I think it is a fairly dangerous operation. They have to make sure that you're going to be okay on that operating table to go through with this. So, you know, They want to make sure there's no underlying issues anywhere of any kind. You know, and they know about the diabetes. They know about the heart ablation that I had done. That was one of the reasons why they wanted to do the test, because of the heart ablation. They thought if they can trip that thing, or if that thing, it's gonna surface during these tests. Blew through it like that, literally blew through it like that. so, so maybe I am going to live a long life. Who knows? You know. But I'm looking awful old. I'm looking at myself on that camera. Yeah, Voorhees. I know. I thought about that when I saw Voorhees. I'm like, oh wow, really? Yes, I saw Jason. As a matter of fact, one of the people that worked in the kitchen had a name tag that said Jason. And I'm going, okay, Jason, and I'm in Voorhees. What's going on here? And I had said something to him. He says, yeah, I know, I get it all the time. Jason and Voorhees. You seen Jason, he's eating Skittles? Well, we know Jason's now which actor did you see doing that? I'm just curious. Who was the guy eating the Skittles? Which actor? Who played Jason? There's been a couple guys that played him. Thorburn, you've done that. You know the test. Now, I've never had that test before, but it reminded me of my scuba diving days when I had to test the German regulators. The cutoff, what they do is back in the old days, now they were automatic. But when they first came out with these German regulators, it was called a forced air regulator. So you didn't have to suck the air out of your oxygen tank like the old days. But the forced air regulator, when you got it set up, you had to suck it. All right. First of all, let me back up a little bit. It automatically accounted for you to be 30 feet under the water. So what it would be like to suck the air out of the tank at 30 feet down, if you were without a forced air regulator. All right. So it's like breathing sand through a straw when you go down about 30 feet deep underwater. So when you suck the air out of that oxygen tank, it's like, it's really hard. All right. And you have to be in good shape to use that type of oxygen tank with that type of regulator. Now, with that being said, the forced air, what it does is it wants to regulate, it doesn't want to blow too much air into you. All right, so it takes you down at a PSI of 30, they account for it at 30 feet. And then they ask you to, okay, suck in normal. Suck in normal. All right, then you suck in normal. And then they set the setting until it's, going in nice and normal, and it's not inflating your lungs. You don't want something that's going to blow your lungs up inside, like forced air. That's what it means. It's forced air. So you suck in, and it opens up, and it just kind of like, it's, oh wow, there's no he says, yeah, well, it's set for 30 feet deep, so that's exactly what it's going to feel like at 30 feet deep, where you're not going to feel any pressure at all. You're not going to feel any, you're not going to have to pull that air out of that oxygen tank. So, with that being said, blowing out, same thing. They want to make sure that you blow hard, and then it's like, okay, now let's pretend that something scares the crap out of you and you get panicked and you start hyperventilating. So you have to do that same test. we were going in that regulator to see how much air, you know, they don't want it to over, I can't remember exactly what they called that. Damn it. But anyway, it was cool. Hold on. Asylum, I've seen Jason eating Skittles. Okay, it's an inside joke that I'm not aware of. He loves his candy, okay. Well, what the hell? I guess the battery, oh, it's unplugged. That could be a problem. Oops, I don't want to do that. There we go. I plugged the battery in. So Asylum loves candy, huh? Yeah, I'm done sculpting for tonight, just in case you guys are wondering. I'm looking at this. I have a. You guys can't see it. Let me see if I can put it in frame. See, this is when I'm reading your text. I'm not looking at the camera because I'm reading your text. Oh man. Oh, well, I mean, age has a lot to, my breath, actually, they did that test where you hold your breath real long to see how long, and I think I was at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. That's how long I held my breath. I don't know if that's real long, but I'm an ex-swimmer and a scuba diver, you know, my lungs were conditioned because of that, I think, you know. Did a lot of underwater diving, deep diving too. I used to have those big long fins, and I would go down about 60 feet sometimes and then come right back up. But the fins really take you down fast. They take you deep down and then back up. You know. That's probably affecting you. I don't care what anybody says. Smoking pot, if you're smoking it, it still affects your lungs. Anything you put in your lungs, even the vaping's probably even worse because it's water vapor. I don't think that it'll kill you, but it can't be anything going into your lungs. It's like we weren't meant to breathe water, you know. So, not supposed to put anything in your lungs if you can help it. You know, so no, and I'm not faulting you but I haven't smoked since 1987. I smoked for 15 years, and I was at like literally 2 packs a day when I quit. And I quit cold turkey back in 1987. So it's been over 40 years since I've smoked. But my lungs completely healed. I got into top condition after that process. That was partially the thing. I was like an athlete prior to, and smoking was affecting everything I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm done with this. Crushed them, never put them down, never walked away. And I mean, I smoked for 15 years. So I dropped them cigarettes, dropped the habit. I'm like that. Some people are like, oh man, willpower, you know. I'm just like one of them guys, man. When I finish and when I feel like I'm done, I'm done. I quit, man. That's it. You want to call it strong willpower? Go ahead. Whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But I just, I get angry with myself for letting myself do that to myself. And I got so pissed off because I'm like, I got out on the football field the one year, like after a couple of years of not playing, and I couldn't run 40 yards without feeling like I was going to throw up. And I thought, no more of this shit. Crushed. Quit the smoking. started exercising heavily, working out, put 45 pounds of muscle on me in 3.5 months. And started, now I have the type of body that puts on muscle real easy. But I went and started playing football in the flag league first. And guy said, yo, man, why don't you try out? Now, here I am, 28 years old. 28 years old, and they tried me out for semi-pro football. And I made it. You know, and here I am playing with ex-New York Giants that were on the team. They were like third stringers, you know, second stringers that didn't make the squad. So they kept themselves in shape trying to go back into the NFL. That's what they did. So they went on the semi-pro league. And that's how it used to be anyway. I don't know what it's like now. But so anyway, you know, I made the team. I was like really blown away by that. I was in good shape, that's why. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have never played football because it ruined my body. You know, I was about 225 to 230 with all the muscle on me. And, but I was getting hit by guys who were like 300 pounds, man. That's a, damn, that scared me. You hear that, guys? That was right outside the door. It might not have been as loud. That got me, man. That was right outside the door. No shit. Right behind the camera is my door that goes out to the outside. That scared the shit out of me. Crack. Felt like I got electrocuted. Man, I need a shave already. Damn. Look at all that white, man. I'm getting all this white. Now, if my beard grows in, I'm all white. Look at that white, man. Old man. Although the chicks dig it. They like the goatee, man. I don't know why. Girls love the goatee. Girls like the goatees. Maybe they tickle. Oh, God. Earbuds on. No shit. Got your earbuds on and that was loud. That's funny, man, because that was loud. I don't know how loud it was on the camera, but boy, it was loud. It shook me right. I jumped. I wasn't ready for that. So focused on talking to you guys. Startled me good, man. I thought I got shocked. Yeah, listen to that, man. Isn't that awesome? You can hear the rain smacking against the door, too. Yeah, that's rumbling on and on and on and on. Sounds like a horror movie. Oh, I'm so glad I got this thing where I want it to be now. I know, yeah, this is it, baby. I just need to fine tune it now. Fine tune this mask. This sculpture is going to be really good. I'm looking at it. Yeah. I don't know how many people are on. There's 3 watching, and that means it's me. I have 2 things going. So there's 1 other person on. That's it. What's up, 3 Reel? The 3 Reel, isn't that what it? The 3 Reel. I guess 3 Reel. Scuba dude, hey man, yeah, that's cool because I'm an ex-scuba diver myself. Well, I was just talking about scuba diving. I was just talking about it. I'm an old man now. I can't do it anymore, not by far. But I had a Hey, maybe I can ask you about it now because it's been a long time since I've had forced air regulators. I keep, I started scuba diving. What year was it? I love thunder and lightning, man. I do. Didn't scare me that time. Check out that noise. You guys liking that or what? Perfect atmosphere for what we're doing here. So we were talking about scuba diving, and I was talking about I had a pulmonary test, and it reminded me of the old German regulators when they first came out with forced air regulators, and the testing you had to do to get it. Silverado, what's happening, buddy? So do I. I love listening to them. I love listening to the rain. Well, remember this, when you're scuba diving, the one thing you make sure because you always want to have a partner. Never dive alone. Never dive alone. All right? But when you get that partner, make sure that that partner goes through the schooling with you. The worst thing in the world, and it happened to us about 200 miles off the coast here in the Atlantic, right off of New Jersey. We went out to the shelf, the continental shelf, right where it drops off to about 600 feet. All right, and then you go out another 100 miles, and then you hit the slope, and that drops down to 6,000 feet. So we were out by the shelf, and when you hit the shelf, and you look down, and it's pitch black. All right, and it's clear water. The water's clear. And we were down about 45 feet. We were just all diving down, and it was the scuba class. Well, the one guy swore up and down, "Oh yeah, I dive all the time. I'm real good at it. I know what I'm doing." And the guy went down with us. We were probably about 45, 50 feet down, and all of a sudden, we see this big black shadow go over top of us. We didn't know what it was. We had no idea. We couldn't tell whether it was a shark, whatever. But this big black shadow goes over top of us. Well, the guy that said he knew everything about diving, he blew his BC vest. Scuba diver, if he's still on, he knows what I'm talking about. He blew his BC vest, dropped his weight belt, held his breath all the way to the surface. If you're on Scuba Dude, Free Reel, Scuba Dude, tell him what happened when he got to the surface. What happened to the guy who held his breath all the way to the surface and dropped his weight belt, blew his BC vest, and he flew up to the top? It's needless to say, he died. He died on the scene. Silverado, I got a thunderstorm going on over here. And it's loud, man. Some of these cracks are pretty loud. So I guess he's not going to say anything. No, well, it wasn't air bubbles in the blood. His lungs turned inside out. I'll explain to you. Every 33 feet is 1 atmosphere. All right, 1 atmosphere is 14.7 pounds per square inch. That's what holds you on the planet. All right, so 1 atmosphere, what's on us right now, every square inch is 14.7 pounds per square inch that's holding us on the planet. You go down 33 feet, that's double. All right, when you go down 33 feet, that means your lungs, even if you fill them up, they only open up. They're compressed, all right? But you're still taking in the same amount of air. All right, so what happens is you rush up to the surface, and as you get about 4, maybe 5 feet from the surface, your lungs will expand all the way out. And that's what happened. He held his breath, held his breath, and his lungs blew up inside of his chest, and they came out of his mouth. There was blood all over the surface. The dive instructor, when he saw him shoot up, he tried to reach him and grab him and pull him back down. Missed him, and went up to the surface and died on instant. He was dead instantly. 4 feet from the surface, he was dead. His lungs came out of his mouth. That's what happened. So we had a chopper come out to us, take the body. We all had to come back in. We all went back in, but we had to have the Coast Guard immediately come out to us because we knew he was dead. There was nothing nobody could do for him. He was a young kid too, man. He wasn't real old. He was probably like 17, 18 years old. But there was a girl on the boat that saw his lungs come out of his mouth. She threw up all over the place, and she was a mess. She originally, I talked to her years later. She said originally I thought he was being attacked by a shark. That's what she thought. She was getting flashbacks of the Jaws scene with the Kidner kid getting eaten off the raft. Yeah, R.I.P. That's for sure. I think he was like 17 years old, that kid. I think I was like 20 when that happened. I was like 20 years old when I did that. And I was learning how to do ice diving. Well, I've been on Silverado since 7 o'clock. I'm not going to be on much longer. But it's nice to have the thunderstorm. I'll show you what I've been working on, since you're looking at me all the time. We are working on this guy, trying to perfect it. I bulked out the cheek lines further. All right. That fixed I got to do a lot of work to the nose yet. I did a lot of retooling to this. This is going to be the version 3. Silverado. This is really going to be nice. Now the lips lines aren't perfect yet. I'm still not quite there yet where I want it to be. But the depth is right. Everything is right. I brought the eye cuts in just a little bit further on the outside. That's what I wanted. I wanted them in tighter. And it looks better. Let me try to turn it towards the camera now. Let me turn this. Let me go. A lot of smoothing yet to do. Well, the eye cuts are the same. I just brought the outsides in a little further in, because the eye cuts were too wide. They were out that was one of the things that was bothering me. The eye cuts were out too far out this way. I wanted to bring them in. Now, I didn't want to bring anything closer inside the eye cut, right in here, where the tear ducts are. That's close enough. It's the outside that needed to be brought in further. But the eye cuts aren't changed. The cut is no different. I brought the top part in on the outside, on both sides. Still got more work to do though. I think I have to drop this down just a little bit right here. I don't want that peak up that high. It needs to be slanted just a little bit. See, if you look at the picture against the wall, that's how that has to be. It has to. to turn it so it's more accurate, more dead on. Three reel, scuba dude. Getting my first H1 mask from Tots. The H1 mask. I have one. As a matter of fact, let me put it up here. I'll put it on the stand right next to this head. I overhauled it. And I still want to do it again because I have different hair on this one. And I want to change the hair. I don't like the hair. Sorry for the shaking of the camera. But this is the nag sculpted by Justin Mayberry that I overhauled. Let me get past here and I can adjust the way you're seeing it. Get this out of here. Slide this guy over just a little bit. Now the hair's a little messed up, so I don't like this hair that's on it. I gotta change that hair. The new Don Post mask. I had one of them, I didn't like it. I'll tell you what I didn't like about it. The scowl looked really weird. The profile of it just did not look right at all. It looked literally like sloped, like what's the right terminology here? From the nose to the top, it looked like it was one slope, just literally straight. Hold on, let me try and turn this so I can give you a perfect profile. It literally looked like this. Let me try and do this with the. See that? That's how the nose and the forehead look. They were literally like that, flat, straight across. It looks so goofy. I didn't like it. I'm just giving you a heads up. Don't. I'm so far from now. This one here that Justin Mayberry. I think it was Justin Mayberry that did this sculpture. This is the Trick or Treat Studios, 1978. Now this is what it looked like. Now I've repainted it. I overhauled this. Yeah, this. I bought this probably 3 years ago when he first came out with it. Trick or Treat Studios. Trick or Treat Studios came out with this, and this was right from Justin Mayberry's sculpture. You know, I think that's who did that mask. Am I wrong? Justin Mayberry sculpted this mask for Trick or Treat Studios. But I got probably one of the first castings because I ordered this thing. I actually pre-ordered this. Yeah, that's the same one. It's the same one. It's good because the newer ones don't look that good. It's just like the 2018 mask. You can't get a good copy of that 28. The 28, yeah, there's so many people out there making this mask now. It's like, it's insane. Yeah, I painted this with fish belly white to give it the authentic, realistic look of the original mask. I don't like the hair on it. The hair's I gotta replace this hair. I don't like the hair. I didn't like the hair on it, so I never did the glue line. I never did it right. So, although it's accurate, you can see the little check mark right here. The way it comes into the sideburn, that's where it's supposed to be. Um, I just don't like the texture of this hair. That's a 25-inch mask too, by the way. So, yeah, Thorburn, I'm trying to, I want to take a chance and see if Trick or Treat Studios will send me a good copy of it. If they don't, I swear to God, it's false advertisement if you put it any other way. Because honestly, if it shows a picture that they're advertising of a mask and you get it and it doesn't look anything like it, that's false advertisement. So, hey, I'm live. I know you got drenched. Oh my God, you're soaked.
It was awful. It was like I had to go. The visibility was awful.
Yeah, we're sitting here and it made me jump out of my skin. A crack of lightning went right down behind the door.
Because I have to park all the way out by the parkway because.
Oh my God! No wonder you're soaked.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, and then the lightning was like, oh my God, and like ran.
Oh, it's real bad. All right, I'm gonna go to. I didn't cook any of the burgers.
Okay. I still have my chicken. I only have my chicken. I'm fine.
I want to go get a sandwich, so I'm in the mood.
Just get me a coffee. I'm fine.
All right, I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna go to Wawa. I don't feel like cooking now. I'm too damn tired. So yep. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's false advertisement, and I'll demand my money back if they send me a crappy mask. That's just the way I feel about it. You know, don't care. See you in court, pal. False advertisement. I'll force them to friggin' come out. You know, put a better mask out. That's all it takes is somebody to actually stand up to somebody. You know. What's the debate? Why debate about it? If you're a fan, Nick Castle's the man. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. I have a photograph that Dick Warlock sent. All right, here's what happened. I'm going to go bring that photograph in here just to show you guys that too. I love both Nick and Dick Warlock. They both played the shape differently. I'll never say one's better than the other. That's not the way I see that. The way I see both of their versions on how they played it was Nick Castle played him as a human being. Dick Warlock took over after he's been shot 6 times and so on and so forth. Now, I don't know if he was directed to act more like zombie-ish. I won't say zombie, but zombie-ish, like he wasn't really human. I think that was possibly how they directed him to be. Slower, very, very slow moving, very just robotic almost, fluidly, but it was just different. But I love the way they both played it. And what happened was 3 years ago in Cherry Hill, I met Dick Warlock. And I said, when I go to meet him finally, because I've talked to him many times on social media, and I had direct link to him, and I've been talking to him for years. but didn't know who he was at first. So it was just weird. And anyway, got to talk to him about stunt work and stunt because I knew some stunt. I knew a couple guys that were stuntmen, and he knew them. And I was, oh really? Yeah, I've actually directed these guys. And it was years ago when I talked to him about this. He didn't really remember the conversation, but anyway, I did talk to him about this, and then I talked to him a couple times since, and then I got into another conversation with him a little later on when they first did Spider-Man, and I think I was talking about, I miss the days of the stunt man. I hate the CGI. And then we both kind of said, but the CGI works for Spider-Man. You have to have CGI for Spider-Man and Jurassic Park and that kind of thing. So we got talking about it. And I said, one of these days I'm going to meet this guy and I'm going to bring him a mask. I'm going to make him a mask, and I brought him a mask. Sure enough, I brought him a mask and he signed it, and we did it, he autographed it for me, and then we got talking again, and then he sent me another picture, which was a surprise because I didn't ask for anything, and all of a sudden in the mail, there's a picture of him with a really nice layout, a gold print of that same thing. It's awesome. I gotta go get it. I'm gonna go grab it real quick and show you guys the picture. Yeah, Warlock he's a real down to earth guy. He doesn't get caught up in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. As a matter of fact, he hasn't done a lot of these conventions at that point, and he was blown away. I mean, literally blown away that I brought him a mask to take home. I made him a mask, and I brought it there, and it was a replication of the Halloween 2 mask, but it's huge. I didn't realize how small Dick Warlock is. A very small guy. He's not a real big guy at all. But he's 83 now, and we've been trying to go out to dinner. Me and my brother. Him and my brother really hit it off really well. And my brother did his website and did all his pictures, designed his whole website for him, did it for him, and it was really cool. And so he got real friendly with Dick Warlock, and Dick Warlock, he made it. See, what happened was he knew Keith. Dick Warlock loves country music, and my brother sings country music, and he said, "Oh, I didn't know you were a singer." And then man, that they hit it off big time. And then so Dick Warlock went to my brother's website, and he loved the way his layout was. And he says, "Why can't I have something this simple?" He says, "Well, my brother says, well, I can do something for you," and he did it. Boom! That's how they kicked off their conversation, and they got talking. So since then, we've kept saying, "Oh, we're gonna come to see." I know where he's at. I'm not going to mention where he lives. Gotta love that sound. So we're going to go down to see him. He's in the South, and we're going to go out to dinner. And we just keep getting sidetracked. We can't make anything happen. Every time and I really want to take him a new mask. So I'm going to take him probably the Night Creeper when I actually get it perfect. And I'm going to do that this winter. So now, let me go get the picture that he sent me in the mail, because I guess my brother Keith gave him my address and everything. I was so surprised to see this picture come in the mail. And he kept one of the pictures. I guess my brother gave him the picture that he took of us when I went to see him at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And my brother took the picture. So he must have sent him a copy of that picture and then had him sign it. And Dick Warlock sent the picture to me directly. It was cool. So let me go get the picture, and I'll put it right up here in front of this so you guys can see it. Man, it's thunderstorming out there. Yeah, I just cracked up 3 times right outside my house. Crazy. I'm back, guys. Now in this picture, I'm a lot heavier. A lot heavier. I gained a lot of weight. But this is the picture that he sent me. Let me tilt it down a little bit. And it says John, thanks for the mask. And then Dick Warlock. H2, that's what that means. Halloween 2, H2. But that's me and Dick Warlock there. I was huge. Look how big I am next to Dick Warlock. I'm 5'10", is my normal size. But because of my hips and my back, I lost 2 inches. So I'm all the way down to 5'8". But look how big I am compared to how Dick is. He's tiny. I love that picture. Love that picture. So that's Dick Warlock and me. And man, I was heavy. I was real heavy in that picture. I was at my maximum weight too. I remember that summer. I had a hard time getting around. I was literally 120 pounds heavier there than I am now. So, Dick Warlock, man. The guy's probably, I think he's like 83 now. So I hope he's around a lot longer. And being a stuntman and a stunt coordinator, I'm sure he's got some bangs and bruises. I'm sure he's got some ailments that nag at him for. I never talked to him about it, but I'm sure he has his belly full of pain. So with that being said, guys, I am starving. I've got to get something to eat. I need food. I need food desperately. So I'm going to say goodnight. But yeah, this was the H2 mask right here that he signed for me. By this time, he had already taken his mask upstairs. I put really good hair on his mask. I didn't put good hair on mine. This was the first H2 that I did. I put dyed mohair on his mask. It was really nice. It was nice and shiny. It was perfectly styled. Looked really good. But the chin line on that mask was always, it stuck out way too far. And I wish I could have done a better mask for him at that point. I just didn't have the knowledge. Didn't have the knowledge back in them days. But I'm huge next to Dick Warlock in this picture, man. I can't get over how big I am in that picture. And I had less gray in my goatee. But yeah, first thing he saw when he saw me, he's like, "Oh man, check it out, Elvis glasses." I was like, "Oh man." And everybody notices these glasses, man, big time. But I got these glasses probably 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I'll never change them. I love them. I mean, I've got different lenses since then, but these glasses rock. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodnight. Me and Dick Warlock finally got to meet the guy. But, peace, everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Good night.